Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today we're back with romance author and social media extraordinaire, Dr. Melissa Dymond. Hey, Melissa, welcome back.
Thanks so much.
So, today I want to talk with you about collaboration and reviews and a little bit of branding. So, a lot in one. So, tell me about podcasts and some of the ones that you've been on.
Podcasts have been awesome. I love to talk about books. Like I could talk all day about them, my books, other people's books. So like I'm happy to be on any podcast. I would say like as far as getting podcasts, it's been about a mixture. About half and half of them have reached out to me asking me to be on, and then half I've actually like searched for. So if you look at podcasts, especially on social media, they'll often have an author interest form. And that will be something that you can fill out and just say, like, this is who I am. These are my books. I'd love to be on your podcast. And so then they'll respond to that. So that's how I've found or have been asked to be on podcasts. So I've done a handful of them and they've been really rewarding.
And were there any fees involved with any of these podcasts?
No, definitely not. Like I've never paid anyone to be on a podcast and they haven't paid me. If that's out there, let me know. But I've never heard of it.
Yeah. And so it sounds like you do recommend that authors do as many of these as possible. Are there any that you have said no to?
No, I've never said no to podcasts. I mean, they're all romance, based podcasts. So for me, they're all my audience. And so I've been like always happy to be asked to be on them.
And from a metrical standpoint, has there been a podcast that you know has helped you boost your brand and sell more books?
I think that I haven't seen like a specific spike as far as in sales after release of a podcast. So I haven't had that specifically, but I think just, overall getting your name out there as much as you can and kind of reaching a broader audience is helpful, even if it's in things that down the road, some reader heard me on a podcast and 3 months later I released a book and they're like, oh, yeah, I remember her talking. So sometimes it's hard to have a direct correlation between those two things.
Right. And how do you typically prepare to be a guest on a podcast?
So usually podcasts have been really well organized and they've sent me a list of questions before I actually go on the podcast. I personally don't I read through that list and then I like just put it aside. I don't like actually like write out answers or really like think through exactly what I'm going to say. I'm a talker, so it's like I just say whatever comes to my mind. I do have author friends who are very like methodical and they write down like responses and they memorize them, but I just kind of wing it.
That's interesting. I think that's a good note because it is what works for everybody. But most podcasters, from my knowledge and experience, are very prepared. And you can expect that on your end to be able to prepare by knowing what they're going to ask you. So you're not dumbfounded in the interview.
Yeah, that's why I do. I always, read through the questions, but I just don't have like prepared answers.
Right. Now, and that's another good point actually, because sometimes when I've worked with interviewees, some of them do not want the questions because they want to be a little bit more organic. And so it
Oh,
just depends on the author.
interesting.
Now, Melissa, I want to transition a little bit. How did you land hundreds of ratings and reviews?
So I think like early readers, and we call them ARC readers, advanced reader copy readers, are like so crucial to a novel's success. So for me, I aim for between 1 to 3,000 early readers. And some people say statistically of those early readers, about 10% of them will actually leave a review because of all the people who say they're interested and you give them the book, not all of them will read it. Of all the people who read it, not all of them will review it. I've had probably a higher percentage that have left reviews than that, but it's definitely not 100%. So you may think like, wow, 1,000 early readers, that's a crazy amount, but if you get 100 reviews out of that, that's 10%. So I do social media and I ask for early readers. I gather readers from prior books and say, hey, you read my last book. Do you want to read it again? And I do use also NetGalley to find early readers. There's also Facebook reader groups that are really great that you can offer, hey, I have a book. And so anybody want to ARC read it? So those are like the main places that I find those early readers.
Interesting. Now, I want to talk a little bit about branding with you. How did you incorporate your other career as a doctor into your writing? And how do you use it now to promote any social mission?
So I'm a doctor, I'm a radiologist, and they say write what you know. So far all my books have at least one character who is also a doctor because I can write that accurately and, kind of reflect that experience back, which is really fun to take something that like I've spent a lot of time on and is kind of more science and logical based and then apply it to this more creative endeavor of being a writer and an author. So it kind of merges those two worlds together. As far as like using it for social missions. So when I started writing, I knew that I wanted to give back in some way. And so each of my books has like kind of a disease subplot to it. Right now, they're mostly focusing on cancer. And then I give 10% of my personal profits to a charity that is represented by that cancer. So, like, for example, my holiday books, Holiday Star and Holiday Wedding, the main female character, her father dies when he's only 45 of colon cancer, and that really like affects her and her story arc. And so I give 10% of the profits from those holiday books to a colon cancer charity that I've picked out. So that's been really rewarding too. I've worked with that charity, and that way we can kind of help spread goodness.
Well, and what a way to use your previous career or your other career to, just inspire your creation.
Yeah.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much. That was wonderful insight on collaboration, reviews, and branding.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's interview with romance author and social media extraordinaire, Dr. Melissa Dymond. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.